In this video, we'll be breaking down the chances for severe weather in your area, and will we get a relief from this drought and heat? And I'll also be looking at the Atlantic, Gulf, and Pacific to see if anything is forming. And lastly, I'll be breaking down your near-term forecast, all that coming up in this video. Hi y'all, welcome back to Willie's Weather. As you can see, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a marginal risk today for southern Arizona, eastern Colorado, much of Kansas, much of Nebraska, northern Missouri, southwest Iowa, western Illinois, northeast North Carolina, eastern Virginia, and western Maryland. Now your main risk today is a wind threat for all risk areas today, 5% chance, and a hail threat just for eastern Colorado, northern Kansas, much of Nebraska, northern Missouri, western Illinois, southwestern Iowa, northeast North Carolina, eastern Virginia, and western Maryland. Now your day 2 outlook is another marginal risk for southeastern Ohio, southwestern Pennsylvania, northwestern West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, western Tennessee, northern Mississippi, northeast Arkansas, southeastern Missouri. This little central half of Montana for tomorrow. Now your main risk for tomorrow will just be a wind threat for all areas in the marginal risk with no tornado or hail threat going on. Now your day 3 outlook for Mondays is a slight risk northwest Montana, northern North Dakota, northeastern Montana. And there's also a marginal risk surrounding that slight risk area in northwest Minnesota, much of Montana, and southern North Dakota. Now we don't know the risks yet, but stay tuned to Willie's Weather Facebook page. I'll have updates on that. Now your day 4 outlook, there is a 15% chance for severe weather development in northwestern Indiana, northern Illinois, western Michigan, all of Wisconsin, eastern Minnesota, and northeast Iowa. There's no severe weather for the next 3 days after that, but if you're in the risk areas that I mentioned for the next 4 days, then please stay weather aware and know where to go when severe weather strikes. For when the worst of the severe weather will occur, let's go over here to the eastern part of the United States, break down the time frames. Looks like right around 5 o'clock. Storms firing up southwest of Washington, D.C., heading into Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, rather. Heading into Baltimore, about 6 o'clock, heading into Richmond, exiting Washington, D.C., and exiting Baltimore. 7 o'clock, just north of Richmond, dumping some small hill, just southeast of Washington, D.C., heading into Salisbury. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. 8 o'clock, storm's still dumping hail over here, southwest of Salisbury, east of Richmond, Virginia. Right around 9 o'clock, exiting the marginal risk area. Still dumping heavy rain and small hail with a small damaging wind threat. Around 10 o'clock, same thing. Now it's just tapering off at that point. Just some rumbles with thunder, light rain, light to moderate rain. I mean, a good night's sleep over here after midnight. Now let's go over to the plains. Break down the time frame for that over here. Starting off at 5 o'clock. Storm's entering the marginal risk area over here in central Nebraska, just east of Valentine, Ainsworth. So y'all been getting some supercell kind of storms. Right around 6 o'clock, exiting Ainsworth, north of Stapleton, just east of 83, right here. Where was that? Around 6 o'clock central time, 7 eastern, exiting Ainsworth, heading towards O'Neill. Your main risks today being mainly a wind and a hail threat. No tornado risks today, but still, be weather aware because damaging winds and small hail are a possibility. Okay. Now, Broken Bow, you're going to be getting some heavy rain right around 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock central, right around 9. Storm's starting to taper off a little bit. Still dumping heavy rain and small hail right around 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock eastern in Kearney, right around 10 o'clock central, south of Kearney. Storm's tapering off until right around 3 o'clock where they're firing up again out in east of Clarita, southwest of Leon, Maryville. Heavy rain happening over there. It's around 4 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, around 3 o'clock in Central Time. 5 o'clock, more heavy rain southwest of Quincy. More heavy rain. I won't be surprised if there's a slight risk for excessive rainfall, but we will take a look at that later on in this video. More heavy rain. Now this is getting into your day 2. Let's take a look at Arizona's time frame for the severe weather potential. Like Phoenix and Tucson, y'all be getting some severe weather today, which is just a wind threat, no hail threat for y'all. Now let's look at that. Starting off at 5 o'clock Eastern time, nothing much happening. Right around 7 o'clock Eastern, storms in Tucson, Arizona, north of Heroica, heading from the south to north. I'll be on the lookout for that. Clusters of storms right around 10 o'clock Eastern. More storms, clusters happening, tapering off right around 2 o'clock in the morning. Now damaging winds is your main threat today for all the risks. So be on the lookout for that. Don't be like Chris with his beard and his rain deck chair out there just sitting. Don't know any severe weather's coming. The thing he knows is being tipped over by those damaging winds, saying what's going on. He's all ticked off with his beard's all spilled out. Anyways, alright, let's look at your day 2 time frame. It's gonna be over here in southeast Ohio, southwest Pennsylvania, northwest West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, western Kentucky, and over here in northern Mississippi, western Tennessee, western Kentucky, southeastern Missouri, northeastern Arkansas, and a little sliver of Illinois. Now let's take a look over here where my hand's at. First of all, this is for Sunday, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like some light showers are gonna wake you up. You're having your morning coffee, your morning tea, your morning pop, whatever wakes you up in the morning, you're gonna be rained on. But your main risks today is gonna be, there's no tornado risk today. So don't worry about that. It's just a 5% damaging wind threat. Stay weather aware. Don't be like Chris with his beer getting knocked over in the rain deck chair, not knowing anywhere severe weather's happening today. Alright, around 8 o'clock in the morning, like heavy rain east of St. Louis. Not much is happening in that area till probably right around noon, 1 o'clock. Southeast of Springfield, Illinois. There's a lot of light rain. At 8 o'clock. Looks like this might be a late evening in the early morning hours of Monday. Heavy rain northeast of Jonesboro. Heading into Jonesboro right around 1 o'clock in the morning. Exiting Jonesboro right around 3 o'clock in the morning. Now it's heading into their Monday morning. So mainly over here in this risk area, mainly going to be the late Sunday evening into the early morning hours of Monday. Now let's look over here in the Ohio part of the marginal risk area to see when the worst of the severe weather will occur in that area. Now this is right around 2 o'clock in the morning. Not much happening till about, there's 1 o'clock. Nasty storms in Cincinnati, heading to Georgetown, east of Louisville, southern Cincinnati, still getting heavy rain. West of Lexington, getting some clusters of storms. Heading into Richmond, Kentucky, southern to southeast parts of Lexington, Kentucky, getting lots of rain. Heading to the east, more heavy rain. 5 o'clock, Ashland, Parkersburg. Heavy rain east of Columbus, Ohio. Southwest parts of Canton, Ohio, where the Hall of Fame is at. Around 6 o'clock, more heavy rain. Heading into Pittsburgh, lots of rain. Around 7 o'clock. Exiting Pittsburgh right around 8 o'clock. So your time frame for that's going to be from 3 to 8, I'd say. Mainly just a damaging wind threat, not much to worry about. Now your day 3 outlook, let's look at the time frames for that. Let's look at the GFS, because this only takes us out so far. 8 o'clock in the morning, light rain. This is 72 hours out, so anything can change. Around 5 o'clock. Looks like storms will fire up Monday at 5 o'clock in northeast Montana. Heading into North Dakota right around 8 o'clock. Northern North Dakota right around 11 o'clock to midnight. And exiting the area by the early morning hours of Tuesday. So if you're in any of the areas I mentioned, please be weather aware. Know where to go when severe weather strikes. For much of the country, it's like the drought's going to continue for much of the country out west. Terrible drought conditions in Nevada, California. Heard Lake Mead's drying up. That's awful. They rely on that over there. California, extreme drought. Looks like over here in Kansas, not much of a drought going on. Drought-like conditions going on in Indiana. Moderate drought. Abnormally dry in southern Indiana. Kentucky's moderate drought. Like much of the country's in drought-like conditions. Typical July and August for much of the country. Terrible out west though. But we'll break down in the near term to see if y'all will get any rain or not get any rain. Let's look at the exceptional rainfall outlook to see whether this will continue. Your day 1 outlook. There is a marginal risk spanning from Montana, southeast North Dakota, eastern South Dakota, eastern Nebraska, northeastern Kansas, northern to eastern and northeastern Missouri, central to southern Illinois. All of Indiana's in it today. Much of Ohio, southern Pennsylvania, northern, northeast, West Virginia, eastern Virginia, and eastern North Carolina, Maryland, New Jersey, southern tip of southern New York. Out west, looks like y'all are getting a little bit of relief from the drought. In eastern California, southern Nevada, much of Arizona, southern Utah, central part of Colorado, and northwest New Mexico. And your day 2 excessive rainfall outlook, looks like there's a slight risk for excessive rainfall spanning from Pennsylvania down into Ohio, down into southern Indiana, southern Illinois, down into Missouri, Kentucky, with a marginal risk for excessive rainfall surrounding that from Oklahoma all the way up into New York. Now out west, there's another marginal risk for excessive rainfall. Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, and California. And your day 3 outlook looks about the same, just about. Marginal risk again for the northeast part of the country, to the eastern down all the way into Alabama. And it looks like the west about the same areas. Looks like flooding is going to be a main risk for the next 3 days. 1 to 3 in the marginal risk areas, and about probably even more in this light. All right, let's look at the tropics to see what kind of storms are forming out in the Atlantic, Gulf, and Pacific. Looks like in the eastern Pacific, looks like we already have Tropical Storm Estelle. Advisory number 5, as they call it. Wind speeds of 70 miles an hour, max gust of 85 miles an hour, heading west-northwest. Not going to affect anybody, but it looks like the National Hurricane Center is predicting it will turn into a Category 3 hurricane by the 17th at 8 p.m. with wind speeds of 115 miles an hour, max gust of 140, still heading northwest. Now let's look over here in Hawaii, where Hurricane Darby turned into a tropical storm. Wind speeds of 45 miles an hour, max gust of 60, heading west. Now let's look at your main development region, see if anything's forming out there. Looks like there's some storms developing just southeast of San Juan. If that gets going out here in the warm waters, we could have something. There's no advisories issued yet, but I think there might be. Now, historically, when we have quiet periods like this, we usually get at least a couple strong hurricanes. In periods of quiet hurricane seasons, there's always 1 or 2 catastrophic hurricanes that form. It doesn't always have to be a hurricane every single month to qualify a hurricane season as a bad one, but as long as there is a couple catastrophic hurricanes, then it's a bad hurricane season, which I am predicting. Now let's look at the sea surface temperatures to see what temperatures out here will look like. And as you can see, this is in Celsius. There is a 30 degree to 28 degrees Celsius water. That's about 85 degrees in Fahrenheit. Bath water out here in the Gulf. Now, this is fuel for hurricanes to feed on, as long as there's no wind shear. Wind shear kills hurricanes. As long as we don't have wind shear, warm waters, and storms out here in the main development region, then we could have some pretty strong hurricanes forming. It's quiet now, but it might not be in August. Now let's look at the Climate Prediction Center to see whether it will remain hot or if we will have a cool off in the next 6 to 10 days. Looks like it will remain hot for much of the country. Welcome to July and August. It's like really hot for the central half of the country. No cool off in sight for the 18-14 days as well. And let's look at the precipitation outlook to whether it will remain dry or we will have a break in the drought. Yeah, it looks like everybody's dry. Except for the southwest part of the country. Like in drought conditions for the next 8 to 14 days as well. Looks like we will have a relief in the northeast to the east. The southwest part of the country is going to get a relief, but much of the country is still on a drought. The central half to the northwest part will be in a drought. So make sure you water your bonsais, water your chickens, anything living outside, water it, plants, birds, anything, water it, because the sweatometer is going to be off the charts again. Let's see what could happen. Now this is your 500 millibar jet stream. It's like a upper level low happening on Monday up in Montana, which Tuesday your 15% chance for severe weather will be right here where my arrow is at. Looks like possibly Tuesday night could have some severe weather. Usually on the southeast part of the low when the worst of your severe weather happens most of the time. Heading to the east. Major ridging after that, and possible trough by Friday. Now this is about 200 hours out, so this it's kind of sketchy. I was like at your 850 millibars, your tornado slurpee. This is your fuel for the storms usually towards the ground. All right, let's look at your 500 millibar anomalies. Now reds show calm periods, and blues show unstable weather conditions. Now wintertime, usually when you see that, it shows major snowstorms, but as far as severe weather goes, it shows that too. This is where your low pressure's at by Tuesday, and your severe weather is happening over here by Tuesday. Now we'll look at the model data here in a minute. Looks like after that, it's going to be a quiet period again. Really hot over here in Indiana. All right, let's look at your radar, what that could possibly look like. Now we already know what it looks like for today through Tuesday, but we don't know what it looks like for Tuesday yet. Now it looks like Tuesday by 6Z, which is right around 2 o'clock in the morning in Eastern time. Rain in Canada, northeast parts of the country getting rain. Quiet in the severe weather part of the country. Your 15% probability up until 8 o'clock in the morning, where there's going to be some rain in the area. Heavy rain in Canada by 8 o'clock on Tuesday. Now it says 00Z, that's 8 o'clock Tuesday. That's usually when the model data changes over. Looks pretty quiet for much of the country this week. Lots of rain for the southwest part of the country. Looks like Canada is going to be getting a lot of rain. Maybe in a month. Spotty showers. Lots of rain for the north here, the west. This goes all the way out to August, so pretty sketchy model data by the end of the run here. Now let's look at the temperatures. Pretty hot. Hundreds in Texas. It's your typical summertime heat. I'll fast forward this, look at it, have y'all look at it. Hot, hot, hot. No cool off inside for anybody. Weather meters off the charts. Sounds like your dew points. 70s, upper 70s. Hot, hot, hot for everybody. Lime Rock forecast for today. It's over here in northwest Connecticut. It's like the race is going to pretty much stay dry today. So go Corvette racing. Get that victory, guys. That's an all GTD event. GTD Pro and regular GTD. And tell me in the comments who y'all are supporting today for the Lime Rock race. In future videos, NFL season's coming up, so I may do some NFL forecasts. Be breaking down the time frames for kickoff, halftime, and the end of the game. And also tell me who you're supporting this NFL season. My team's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hopefully they have a good season this year. That about wrap it up. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and never stop forecasting.